Hello, viewers. My name is Joel Newington, and I have a little bitty show, nothing fancy, but I would like to get the gospel out in the only way I know how. And I hope the Seventh-day Adventist Church won't mind me reading some of their literature. It's good literature, good for the heart, good for the soul, good for the mind, good for the spirit, and you can get this literature at the Seventh-day Adventist Church nearest you. All you have to do is ask for it. Now, I only have 15 minutes. I may not be able to go through it all, but you can go through it all yourself if you go to the Seventh-day Adventist Church nearest you. Okay, let's see here. These are very small words, so you might have to understand that it might not work out so great. And by the way, and there shall be light. Let there be light. Okay, can Jesus help? Dear friend, I don't know what you are dealing with in your life, but all of us face problems, whether wealthy or poor, city dweller or farmer, old or young, we each face challenges that are powerless to solve. Sickness, heartaches, loneliness, addictions, poverty, fear, shame. No matter what problem you're facing, there is someone who can help you. His name is Jesus Christ. Many people have turned to him in time of need and received the help that only he could give. Below are 3 stories about people in Asia that, like you, whom Jesus has helped. They are true stories, but we have changed their names to protect their privacy. A young mother in Sri Lanka, J.A., worked in a small blood lab. Though the hours were long, she was happy to have a job to support herself and her young son. She had not been married, but her husband was unfaithful to her and eventually left her to marry another woman. Hope that doesn't happen to you, because there's a lot of unfaithful people out there. And I say, if you're not going to be, tied to the one you're married to, then don't be tied to that person at all. I suggest you be single. Anyways, I can't read everything here. There's so many words to read and they're so small. But so you have to pay attention, okay? She was left alone to raise her son, who had taken a job in the lab. Although she was a Buddhist, J.A. enjoyed working for a Christian boss, Miss Anna. They soon became good friends. One day, while she was taking care of some work in the lab, J.A. suddenly felt an intense pain. She looked down and saw blood and long cuts on her forearm. She screamed with terror and grabbed a cloth to stop the bleeding. This was not an accident. J.A. could feel the presence of evil spirits in the room. Hearing her startled cry, Anna came running to see what the problem was. She saw the fear on J.A.'s pale face as J.A. explained what had happened. Anna responded, "J, my God has power to command these evil spirits to leave. Let's pray now." As Anna prayed, J.A. felt peace flood over her. The spirits were gone. I was shocked how quickly the prayer worked, J.A. says, and I want to know more about the Jesus my boss prayed for, too. Obviously, he hears and answers prayer. Well, let's see here. I don't got much time here, do I? Okay, a businesswoman in Bangkok. Su Ging was a young, successful businesswoman in Bangkok working in corporate sales. She was quickly being promoted in her company and took frequent business trips to other countries. But she was not well. She and her boyfriend had just parted. She had thought she would marry this man. Now she was alone. Now she was alone and brokenhearted. Life became filled with darkness. She cried herself to sleep every night. Weeks passed and the world felt dark. Dreams were shattered. Su Jing began to notice that the news was constantly describing horrible tragedies happening in the world. Even pop culture focused on life's disasters in song, lyrics, and movie scenes. A mastermind must be behind these calamities, she concluded. But what about the good in the world? Was there a being behind it? She didn't know. One night, Su Jing awoke, aware of presence in her room. I must have been dreaming, she thought, and she rolled over and closed her eyes. But she opened them again and looked and saw someone standing at the foot of her bed. But she wasn't afraid. She looked into the kind face. He didn't say a word. She knew that this being was good. Reassured, she closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep. The next day, Su Jing thought about her night visitor and grew convinced that the being she saw was Jesus. She felt that somehow he knew her desperation and had come to help her. She wondered where she could learn more about Jesus. She had a strong impression to go to the Christian church that ran the English school where she studied as a child. Later, as she studied the Bible with them, she learned about Jesus and how to seek his blessing and guidance in her life. Su Jing knew she never needed to be alone again. Jesus loved her just as her own father loved her. Like YouTube is giving me a limited amount of time, but I'm very thankful to YouTube for letting me be on their show. Okay. A desperate father in Malaysia, chained, twisted, and comfortably in the seat of his Honda Civic where he had spent the last few nights sleeping. He would rather be by his son's side in the hospital, but the ICU department made it clear that only one parent could be in the room. Cheng couldn't sleep. He wasn't about to go home. Resting in his car seemed to be his only option. Waiting for the sun to rise and waiting hours to begin so he could return to his son's bedside. Why did his young son have a life-threatening heart condition? Why couldn't the doctors fix his problem? Would his son pull through and recover? What if he died? He couldn't bear to think about life without his only child. Fear gripped his heart. He felt so helpless. Tears streamed down Cheng's face. Was there no one to whom he could turn for help? Prayers to ancestors and visits to temples had brought no answers. Now the surgeon said the heart condition of his son could not be repaired, even with surgery. Rats, I don't got much time. Glancing at the seat next to him, Cheng's eyes rested on a small paper leaflet atop a pile of documents and other papers. Reaching for it, he remembered that a Christian had handed the pamphlet to him a few days earlier. Without really thinking, Cheng flipped on a light and began to read. The little flyer told about God and who created this world, but one who loves us and who longs for us to take our needs to him. Cheng thought about what he had read. He was helpless. Could this God help? God, if you are really there, I ask that you do one thing. Please heal my son. If you do, you will be my God, and I will follow you. The next morning, Cheng entered his son's hospital ward. Doctors and nurses were buzzing, even around his son's bed. They were smiling and excitedly looking over the charts. The boy was healed. Now it's your turn. Are you struggling with the work or school? Are you having conflicts with people near you? Well, are you? Are you sick with or filled with worry or fear? Are you lonely? Are you powerless over an addiction or weakness in your life? Are you tired of the tragedies of life and want better answers? Jesus can help you. Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. You may not fully understand who Jesus is. You may wonder if he is you may wonder if he is real or not. But you can be sure that if you honestly want to know the truth and really desire Jesus will help you, simply pray, Jesus, I want to believe that you are real and that you can help me. Please show me that you are real and pray that you will help me. With fill in the blank. Need a God like you right now? Jesus wants not only to help you with your daily needs, he also wants to transform you to be a man or woman or child that is pure and upright. He makes his plans for your life. Ask him. When Jesus helps you, tell someone about him. And that is the end of this tract. Jesus is the power. Jesus is the light. Without Jesus, you have nothing in your life. Jesus is coming within your lifetime. This is the last generation. Prepare to meet your God. Pray for Joel Newington. I need it.